What's up, everybody? You're checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast, what the world is listening to. I'm your host, The Hot Commodity C, and you are checking out our AEW Dynamite 4th anniversary special recap taking place on my birthday, October 7th. Or I'm sorry, October 7th, sorry, October 4th, 2023. I got a little excited there. And today we are covering a lot of action. Before the night starts, we see Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega being interviewed by Renee Paquette backstage, and Adam Copeland interrupts and shakes Chris Jericho's hand, saying it's good to see him. Copeland then introduces himself to Kenny Omega and says it's good to meet him as well. And Kenny then told Copeland that he had kept him on the edge of his seat the other night during the Wrestle Dream pay-per-view, and he's excited to see him. So I'm excited to see Adam Copeland, Chris Jericho, and Kenny Omega to see what they have, if there's anything between the three of them. We start out the night with the AEW International Championship on the line. The champion Ray Fenix with Alex Abrahantes and Penta defending against the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Champion Nick Jackson with Matt Jackson. There's a lot of action here. Not stop action from the both. There was a BTE trigger to the back of the head for a near fall. Ray then ends up nailing a pump kick to the side of Nick's head. Fenix nails a frog splash, but he gets a two. Nick rolls up Fenix, but Fenix counters the roll up with one of his own and pins Nick Jackson. Tony Schiavone said a tip of the cap to both men. Ray Fenix retains the International Championship, and we find out he'll be defending against Jon Moxley next week. I'm excited to see that match. Ray Fenix has been having great matches these past couple weeks. The only one that wasn't good was his match against Jeff Jarrett, but that's not his fault. Nick Jackson held his own and looked great, and Ray Fenix looked good as well. We then see footage of Adam Cole visiting Roderick Strong at his house. Roddy is there with the Kingdom. Roddy's rolling around in a wheelchair, and he has a scooter made for Adam Cole. And he says, "I couldn't be the only one on wheels." They do laps around the house, and then Roddy tells Adam Cole that he needs some help moving furniture. Adam moves stuff, and Roddy says, "Thank you." And he just watches him do all the work. We then see Wardlow just destroy Griff Garrison. Wardlow's been out for a bit. He nails Griff with 5 power bombs. The referee stops the match, and Wardlow just walks off, looking very powerful, very dominant over a tall dude like Griff Garrison. We then see Renee Paquette talking to Don Callis and Konosuke Takeshita, and Callis says AEW has been shaken to its foundation by Sammy pinning Chris Jericho at Wrestle Dream, so much so the crack AEW medical staff has deemed Sammy unable to perform. At the recommendation of Will Ospreay, I've requested Kyle Fletcher to be the partner of the Alpha Takeshita tonight. I'm going to win this war no matter what it takes. We then see the AEW Trios Championship on the line. The Trio champions, The Acclaimed and Daddy Ass, defend against the Butcher, the Blade, and Kip Sabian. A lot of action here, but the end comes after a scissor me timbers on the Blade, and then Bowens pins Sabian. Tess says a hard fought victory right there by the Acclaimed, but they pulled it off. This is not really my favorite sort of action here. I personally am a big fan of their 6-man stuff, but you already know going into this that the Butcher and Blade pretty much are going to get the win here. But let's move on. Next, we hear from Juice Robinson and the Guns. Austin Gunn said, "Who's ready for story time with Bang Bang Gang?" We came out to address the one they called the Devil. Colton then says, "You mean the people's scumbag? Max, the reason you jumped Jay is because you're scared. You know we're about to suffocate when you breathe with a switchblade." Juice then says, "MJF, get your ass out here. You got explaining to do. If you're a man, you'll come out here and face us like one, but you're not a man, are you?" AEW Champion MJF comes out. MJF says, "Cut my music." He says, "Appears the devil has arrived in Stockton, and we've got an interesting trio here making a lot of accusations. We've got the Ass Boys, and then we got their best friend, Juice, Talentless Taint. Call me Mystic Max." He says, "I have a premonition that we're going to have a dueling chain of Ass Boys and Talentless Taint. I thought I listed some of my highlights. I whipped Cody Rhodes with a belt. I threw Chris Jericho off a cage, and I almost got kicked off TV when I called my boss Tony Khan a mark. I know for a fact that I didn't attack your boy Jay White, but if you don't want to talk it out like gentlemen, I've got an idea. How about right here, right now, we have ourselves a Stockton street fight." MJF runs down to the ring. but then Jay White attacks MJF from behind and nails the Blade Runner, and then Jay White leaves with the AEW title belt. Jay says, Max, I don't know what type of caliber athlete you're used to dealing with, but I'm a cut above. You got the best of me last week, but you're not fooling anybody. We're not buying what you're selling. We use our brains. We know the real MJF. We know that MJF is a pathetic, dirty liar, a slimy, gutless coward, and we need a truly elite champion, and you're not him. But I'm a fair man. You want to prove me wrong? Put it on the line at Full Gear. MJF versus Switchblade Jay White for the AEW Championship. You can try to prove me wrong, and you will fail. And don't worry, I'll lead by example tonight. I'm taking this belt. And I've got 2 words for you. Guns up. MJF says, now you want me a Full Gear? Well, I've got 2 words for you. You're on. So MJF versus Jay White at Full Gear for the AEW title. We then see Chris Jericho and King Omega taking on Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. A lot of action with this match, nonstop back and forth. We see the end come after Chris Jericho and Omega. Well, I'm sorry, Omega nails a one-winged angle to Fletcher. Afterwards, Powerhouse Hobbs attacks Chris Jericho and King Omega. He knocks them both down with chairs. Hobbs smashes Jericho with a spine buster. Hobbs then whips Omega into the guard railing. And then he just annihilates Omega on the arena floor. And then Don Callis tapped Omega by the wrist taped Omega to the wrist by the top ropes. Takeshita nails Jericho, drop kicks Jericho out of the ring. Hobbs hits Jericho with a chair. And then Hobbs about to hit Omega with a chair, but Don Callis acts for it. And then Callis nails Omega over the head. So it looks as if Powerhouse Hobbs is joining the Callis family, or he's helping Don Callis annihilate Chris Jericho there. MJF is worried backstage. He says it'd be easier if Adam was here, and he gets nervous. He calls Adam Cole, but the phone is busy. Next, we see Timeless Tony Storm defeat Sky Blue after a Storm 0. Good match here. We then see the Radar superstar Adam Copeland come out. He says, I came here to talk it out to you. Let's rewind back to 2011. I feel I can never do this again. But guys, we're in 2023 and I'm standing in an AEW ring. There's quite a reason why I came here. There's one major one, but I'll get to that last. He says, I'm pretty sure the AEW World Championship would look good around my waist. Check it out. See, we're talking first ever matches. Adam Cole versus John Mox. Adam Copeland versus John Moxley. Adam Copeland versus Omega versus Miro, Hobbs, Juice Robinson. So those are all amazing reasons to be here. And I've already told you to say this before, I'll say this time again. The main reason I decided to come to AEW is I sat with my family. I asked my daughter Leah, should I retire? She said, you should go have fun with Uncle Jay. So I'll call him what you all call him, Christian Cage. And I'd like him to come out here so I can tell him the real reason why I'm here. TNT champion Christian Cage comes out. Adam Copeland tells him for 40 years we've been best friends. But this industry is that made us realize we'd be best friends for life. I know what you're thinking, why I do those things, a wrestle dream of Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus. And even though I know that about you, I still love you. That's never going to go away. But I saw you standing over Sting, a guy whose poster you took to the barber and put it on the mirror so she could give you the same haircut. I know that Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne are going to drop you like a bad habit as soon as they've sucked all the information from your brain. It's just you're so egotistical you can't see it. But Jay, it's time. For the first time since 2011, for the first time in over 20 years, it's time for you and me to team together. Face a team like FTR. Let's do it. Let's end our careers as a tag team. Christian hugs Adam Copeland. He says, go to hell. And he leaves and tells Adam Copeland that he'll be fighting Luchasaurus next week on Dynamite. A lot of personal animosity. So Adam Copeland wants to come to work with Christian Cage. Christian Cage doesn't want that. What is going to happen? We'll find out next week. Make sure you subscribe, like, hit that notification bell to stay notified. A lot more coming to us with Collision. Stay safe.